If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Question: which two switches are mandatory to activate the integration between personnel administration and organizational management? Choose 2. Option 1 PLG ORGA. Option 2 PLG PLG. Option 3 PLG EVANB. Option 4 PLG EVPAC. Option 5 PLG PRELI. Question: which items do you define when setting up a default cross-application timesheet, CATS, profile? There are 2 correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1 Layout of the screen. Option 2 Manager responsible for approving the timesheet. Option 3 Default language for the display of the timesheet. Option 4 Data entry process for the time data. Question: which selection parameters can be used for the pre-programmed data medium exchange, DME, file? There are 2 correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1 Payroll area. Option 2 Organizational unit. Option 3 Company code. Option 4 Personnel number. Question: a customer wants to use relationships to accurately depict their organizational structure. Which are standard relationships between organizational objects? There are 2 correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1 A position, S, can be described by multiple jobs, C. Option 2 An organizational unit, O, can incorporate multiple positions, S. Option 3 A position, S, can belong to multiple organizational units, O. Option 4 An organizational unit, O, can incorporate multiple jobs, C. Option 5 A job, C, can describe multiple positions, S. Question: what information can you maintain in IT 0007, planned working time? There are 2 correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1 Assignment of public holiday calendar. Option 2 Dynamic assignment based on clock-in entries. Option 3 Status of employee participation in time evaluation. Option 4 Work schedule rule. Question: a customer wants to ensure data changes on certain info types in the payroll past are taken into account in the next payroll run. Which indicators should you set on V_T582A, info type attributes? Choose 2. Option 1 Time constraint. Option 2 Past entry allowed. Option 3 Retroactive accounting payroll. Option 4 List time periods. Question: which of the following definitions is associated with both employee subgroup and personnel sub-area groupings in time management? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1 Public holiday calendar. Option 2 Attendance and absence types. Option 3 Leave type. Option 4 Work schedule. Question: a customer is concerned that WPBP splits on the IT input table may lead to overpayments. What explanations do you provide to address their concerns? There are two correct answers to this question. Response. Option 1. WPBP splits occur when an employee enters or leaves the company during a pay period. They are used to prorate their pay accordingly. Option 2. WPBP splits occur when an employee and #39's organizational assignment changes. They are used to allocate personnel costs to the correct cost center. Option 3. WPBP splits occur when an employee and #39's address changes during a pay period. They are used to allocate benefit deductions to the correct provider. Option 4. WPBP splits occur when an employee and #39's bank information changes during a pay period. They are used to allocate payments to the correct account. Question: which of the following functions of the employee subgroup grouping for personnel calculation? Rules. Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1 determines permissible time quota types. Option 2 determines permissible wage types. Option 3 determines the valid pay scale group and level. Option 4 determines the correct processing steps in payroll. Question: you have defined one info group for a new hire action. You want to distinguish between the info types presented for employees in different personnel areas. Which feature would you configure to accomplish this? Option 1 OBCRS. Option 2 IGMOD. Option 3 Pinch. Option 4 Tariff. Question: due to a promotion, an employee receives a salary increase on IT 0008, basic pay, in the middle of the payroll period. Which processing class and personnel calculation rule will ensure that the wage type is prorated accordingly? Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1 processing class 01 queried in personnel calculation rule X010. Option 2 processing class 20 queried in personnel calculation rule XPPF. Option 3 processing class 10 queried in personnel calculation rule XVAL. Option 4 processing class 03 queried in personnel calculation rule X020. Question: what must you define to create and edit a custom object into the organization and staffing interface, POM? There are two correct answers to this question. Response. Option 1 search node for the new object. Option 2 interaction tools. Option 3 service request, S, with evaluation path. Option 4 column groups with header types. Option 5 tab page definition. Question: a customer needs to assign different public holiday calendars in their work schedule configuration. To which part of the HR structure is the public holiday calendar assigned? Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1 organizational structure. Option 2 personnel structure. Option 3 employee structure. Option 4 enterprise structure. Question: which is the typical sequence of steps in an SAP roadmap? Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1 business blueprint. Project preparation. Final preparation. Realization. Go live support. Option 2, project preparation. Business blueprint. Realization. Final preparation. Go live support. Option 3, project preparation. Final preparation. Business blueprint. Realization. Go live support. Option 4, project preparation. Realization. Business blueprint. Final preparation. Go live support. Question: what information is controlled by the user group parameter, UGP? There are 2 correct answers to this question. Response. Option 1, info type screen layouts. Option 2, info type menus. Option 3, wage types. Option 4, info groups. Option 5, actions menus. Question: you want to provide a real-time report on personnel data. Which reporting tools would you use to create this report? Choose 2. Option 1, Report Writer. Option 2, SAP NetWeaver Business Warehouse. Option 3, Ad Hoc Query. Option 4, SAP Query. Question: which of the following components are included in SAP ERP Talent Management? There are 3 correct answers to this question. Response. Option 1, Learning Solution. Option 2, Pension Management. Option 3, SAP E-Recruiting. Option 4, Time Management. Option 5, Performance Management. Question: you want to repeat the process of finding additional objects along the subordinate organizational structure. What would you add to the following evaluation path? OB003S. SB003A. Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1, B012S. Option 2, AA0020. Option 3, B0020. Option 4, B002A. Question: employees have half-day public holidays that need to be included in their work schedules. Rule: no holiday class B123456789 hol.cl next day B123456789 weekday. 12345667 variant 0101X XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX in the daily work schedule configuration? There are two correct answers to this question. Response. Option 1, configure a daily work schedule. Variant B, for the shorter days. Option 2, configure a daily work schedule with 0 planned hours on public holidays. Option 3, create a new period work schedule for half days. Option 4, configure a daily work schedule with DWS selection rule 01. Question: what can the employee subgroup grouping for personnel calculation rule determine during a payroll run? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1, the valid pay scale group and levels for each employee. Option 2, the valuation basis wage type for both hourly and salaried employees. Option 3, the permissible wage types for info type 0008, basic pay. Option 4, the valid pay grade for each employee. Question: you assign indirect valuation module tariff to a wage type on table T511, wage type. Characteristics: to accomplish which outcome on IT0008 basic pay? Option 1, propose the employee and hashtag 39, S pay scale group and level from T510. Option 2, propose wage type amounts from T510. Option 3, determine the amount of the annual salary, ASAL. Option 4, determine the amount of the benefit salary, BSAL. Question: a customer wants to ensure data changes on certain info types in the payroll past are taken into account in the next payroll run. Which indicators should you set on V_T582A, info type attributes? There are 2 correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1, time constraint. Option 2, past entry allowed. Option 3, retroactive accounting payroll. Option 4, list time periods. Question: you want to assign leave entitlement for union groups according to their contracts. How can you configure this? Option 1, by creating different absence types and assigning them to the employee subgroups. Option 2, by creating a dynamic action on IT 2001, absences, to input the default values for the quota. Option 3, by assigning a base entitlement rule to the work contract field on IT 0001, organizational assignment. Option 4, by assigning quota type selection rule groups and generating absence quotas. Question: which processing option results in a historical info type record being maintained in personnel administration? Choose 2. Option 1, delete an existing record. Option 2, change an existing record. Option 3, delimit with a new end date. Option 4, copy with date change. Question: a global company wants the field characteristics, optional, required, or hidden, on IT 0001. Organizational assignment to differ by country. How can you achieve this? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1, configure multiple header definitions and assign for each country. Option 2, configure country-specific info type menus for fast entry. Option 3, maintain the feature P0001 and adjust screen modifications. Option 4, use standard HR authorization objects for info types. Question: you want to continue paying a terminated employee. What fields on the payroll status info type, IT 0003, can be used to accomplish this task? There are two correct answers to this question. Response. Option 1 do not account after. Option 2 accounted to. Option 3 run payroll up to. Option 4 EARL. Pers RA date. Question: which element of the enterprise structure controls the direct assignment of an employee to a country grouping? Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1 client. Option 2 personnel sub-area. Option 3 personnel area. Option 4 company code. Question: which tasks can be accomplished with the ABAP list viewer? There are two correct answers to this question. Response. Option 1 create/delete cluster data. Option 2 filter for data. Option 3 format totals. Option 4 create/delete master data. Question: how do you link an employee and #39's external time management system ID to a SAP personnel number? Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1 assign identical numbers in the external time management system and in IT0031, reference. Personnel numbers. Option 2 create IT0050, time recording, with the external time management system ID. Option 3 store the external time management system ID in the field SACHs on IT0001, organizational assignment. Option 4 create IT0105, communication, with the external time management system I. Question: you set up time evaluation to accrue absence quotas for employees at the end of each pay period. You need to adjust these quotas periodically. How could you accomplish this? Option 1, change the quota field directly on IT 2006, absence quotas. Option 2, enter the adjustment on IT 2013 quota corrections. Option 3, use report to 00 to overwrite the absence entitlement on IT 2001, absences. Option 4, use report to 00 to overwrite the absence entitlement on IT 2012, time transfer specifications. Question: which of the following elements do you need to configure to create a new absence counting rule? Choose 2. Option 1, a personnel sub-area grouping for time quota types. Option 2, an employee subgroup grouping for time quota types. Option 3, an employee subgroup grouping for work schedules. Option 4, a personnel sub-area grouping for leave types. Question: you want to define these relationship conditions. If assigned, an employee can belong to only one training group. A training group can include multiple employees. What time constraints do you assign to the relationship between object type P and the training group? Please choose the correct answer. Note: answers of this question are not verified by our experts. Please study yourself and select the appropriate answers. Response. Option 1, assign time constraint 3 to the relationship beginning with the object type P. Assign time constraint 1 to the relationship beginning with the training group. Option 2 assign time constraint 1 to the relationship beginning with the object type P. Assign time constraint 3 to the relationship beginning with the training group. Option 3 assign time constraint 2 to the relationship beginning with the object type P. Assign time constraint 3 to the relationship beginning with the training group. Option 4 assign time constraint 3 to the relationship beginning with the object type P. Assign time constraint 2 to the relationship beginning with the training group. Question: which are the main elements of the roadmap structure screen? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1 Roadmap Structure Blueprint Area Go Live Area. Option 2 Roadmap Structure Blueprint Area Attachments Area. Option 3 Roadmap Structure Viewing/Text Area Go Live Area. Option 4 Roadmap Structure Viewing/Text Area Attachments Area. Question: which setting in the system table T77S0 enables integration between personnel administration and organization management? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1 PLG ORGA. Option 2 PLG PLG. Option 3 PLG Quali. Option 4 PLG Cost. Question: what is the most efficient way to assign cost centers to employees in order to reduce ongoing maintenance? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1 assign cost center to employees directly on IT0027, cost distribution. Option 2 assign cost center to employees directly on IT0001, organizational assignment. Option 3 assign cost centers to the positions within an organizational plan. Option 4 assign cost centers to the organizational units within an organizational plan. Question: the SAP ERP Human Capital Management System stores all employee master data in info type records. What can you use to process info type records? There are 3 correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1 Initial Entry Maintenance. Option 2 Fast Entry. Option 3 Overview Entry. Option 4 Personnel Actions. Option 5 Single Screen Maintenance. Question: you are setting up a time management process where all times are recorded. You want to allow the administrator to maintain alternate work schedules. Which method would you choose? Option 1 Positive time management with the addition of IT 2004, availability. Option 2 Negative time management with the addition of IT 2004, availability. Option 3 Negative time management with the addition of IT 2003, substitutions. Option 4 Positive time management with the addition of IT 2003, substitutions. Question: which of the following PA info types can be maintained through standard employee self-service? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1 IT0002, Personal Data, IT0006, Address, IT0007, Planned Working Time, IT0009, Bank Details. Option 2 IT0002, Personal Data, IT0006, Address, IT0009, Bank Details, IT0021, Family. Members/dependents. Option 3 IT0000, Actions, IT0006, address, IT0007, planned working time, IT0009, bank details. Option 4 IT0001, organizational management, IT0002, personal data, IT0006, address, IT0009, bank details. Question: you want to split personnel costs for several departments between two cost centers. What is the most efficient way to accomplish this? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1, maintain the cost distribution info type, IT 1018, for each work center. Option 2, maintain the cost distribution info type, IT 1018, for each position. Option 3, maintain the cost distribution info type, IT 1018, for each employee. Option 4, maintain the cost distribution info type, IT 1018, for each organizational unit. Question: which info types must be included in a CAT's mini master personnel action? There are two correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1, basic pay, IT 0008. Option 2, organizational assignment, IT 0001. Option 3, personal data, IT 0002. Option 4, time recording, IT 0050. Question: a customer pays a vacation bonus for each day of leave, depending on the employee and #39s. Organizational assignment. What are relevant configuration steps to accomplish this? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1, include a constant, daily vacation bonus in the payroll run and assign relevant wage types in IT 0416, quota compensation. Option 2, copy and adjust personnel calculation rule XMOD, employee grouping for payroll accounting, and include a constant, daily vacation bonus in the payroll run. Option 3, maintain counting class information for the absence and assign relevant wage types in IT 0014. Recurring payments/deductions. Option 4, maintain counting class information for the absence and adjust a copy of personnel calculation. Rule X017, relevancy test for valuation of averages. Question: your company has a group of users who performs limited personnel administration tasks. How can you limit what they can view and maintain HR master data, transaction PA30? There are two correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1, assign a screen control to hide fields in transaction PA30. Option 2, assign them to a role with fewer transaction codes. Option 3, assign them to a user group with fewer info types menus. Option 4, assign them to a role with limited info types display authorizations. Question: a customer wants to generate reports on payroll results in ad hoc query. Which steps do you need to configure to create payroll results info types? There are three correct answers to this question. Response: Option 1, import cluster data into IT0267, additional off-cycle payments. Option 2, create and generate payroll info types. Option 3, assign calculation rules to payroll info types. Option 4 assign wage types to evaluation wage types. Option 5 define evaluation wage types. Question: which planning statuses are available when creating new organizational objects? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1 submitted, active, vacant, rejected, obsolete. Option 2 vacant, approved, obsolete, active, rejected. Option 3 planned, submitted, rejected, active, approved. Option 4 submitted, approved, obsolete, active, rejected. Question: you have two time administrators. Both use the time manager and hashtag 39s workplace. One maintains time entries and runs time evaluation while the other should only maintain time entries. How can you ensure that each time administrator only has access to the functions they require? Choose 2. Option 1 assign the correct profile to each administrator. Option 2 create different profiles for each one of the time administrators. Option 3 assign administrators to different administrator groups in table T526. Option 4 assign different profiles in feature pinch. Question: you want to include an employee to a company code in the enterprise structure. To which of the following elements would you assign this employee? Option 1 personnel area. Option 2 employee subgroup grouping. Option 3 employee group. Option 4 personnel sub-area grouping. Question: a manager is in charge of two separate departments. The manager needs different access authorizations for the master data of the employees in each department. Which authorization object must be activated? Please choose the correct answer. Response: Option 1 P_origin_con. Option 2 P_appl. Option 3 P_plog. Option 4 P_pernr. Question: a customer wants to generate reports on payroll results in ad hoc query. Which steps do you need to configure to create payroll results info types? Choose 3. Option 1 assign calculation rules to payroll info types. Option 2 define evaluation wage types. Option 3 create and generate payroll info types. Option 4 import cluster data into IT0267, additional off-cycle payments. Option 5 assign wage types to evaluation wage types. Question: a customer wants to pay a cost of living allowance valued at between 2% and 5% of an employee and hashtag 39s. Basic pay. How would you configure the wage type? Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1. Assign the indirect valuation module PRZNT as well as a minimum/maximum number on V_T511. Wage type characteristics. Option 2. Assign the indirect valuation module SUMI as well as a minimum/maximum number on V_T511. Wage type characteristics. Option 3. Assign the indirect valuation module ANSL and an amount on V_T510. Pay scale groups. Option 4. Assign the indirect valuation module tariff and an amount on V_T510. Pay scale groups. Question. A customer wants to configure their organizational structure in the organization and staffing user interface, transaction POM. What are the 4 main areas of the hierarchy framework in POM? Please choose the correct answer. Response. Option 1. Search area, selection area, overview area, detail area. Option 2. Object area, tools area, overview area, info type area. Option 3. Menu area, object area, overview area, info type area. Option 4. Tools area, search area, overview area, detail area. Question. While trying to create a legal entity, you realize that the country list of value does not have the country you want. Identify why the country you want is not visible. Option 1. The list of countries on the legal entity comes from enabling the field through Page Composer. The component in the Page Composer was hidden at the site level. Option 2. The list of countries on the legal entity comes from the list of defined legal jurisdictions. The missing country has not been identified as a legal jurisdiction. Option 3. The list of countries on the legal entity comes from enabling a descriptive flex field that has not been deployed. Option 4. The list of countries on the legal entity comes from independent value set. The independent value set did not have the country as one of the values. Question. An HR representative enters the employee details in the application as part of hiring process. In the Roles tab, the HR representative sees that an appropriate data role is already available with the provisioning method of automatic. The employee is required to be associated with an additional role of compensation specialist. However, on clicking the Add Role button available in the same page, the HR representative is unable to retrieve any roles which can be added. Identify the cause of this. Option 1. Appropriate role mapping rules are not defined for the data role with requestable checkbox. Checked. Option 2. Appropriate role mapping rules are not defined for the data role with self-requestable checkbox. Checked. Option 3. Appropriate role mapping rules are not defined for the data role with auto-provision checkbox. Checked. Option 4. The HR representative does not have the appropriate role to add the role. Question. You are part of a new implementation and have the seated HR specialist role. You are able to find all the workers in Person Gallery, but not able to view a single worker on the Person Management page. Identify 2 reasons for this. Choose 2. Option 1. The Person Security profile in the data role, which is attached to the seated HR specialist. Application role, does not allow the person access to data. Option 2. The Refresh Manager hierarchy process is not run in the instance. Option 3. The public person security profile is set up as view all people in the data role, which is attached to The seated HR Specialist application role. Option 4. The seated HR specialist role does not have access to hire the worker in the instance. Option 5. The person profile is not created for any of the employees in the new instance. Question: which two options can be directly mapped to the employee record during hiring? Choose 2. Option 1 Job family. Option 2 Legal employer. Option 3 Payroll statutory unit. Option 4 Business unit. Option 5 Subdivision. Question: as a line manager, you often use voluntary termination and performance predictions to be aware of worker dynamics and take corrective action. You are aware that these predictions are based on specific attributes from an employee record. At which level are the attributes that are required for the analysis held? Option 1 Payroll. Option 2 Setup. Option 3 Job. Option 4 Assignment. Question: per your Client 5 policy on eligibility for a compensation revision cycle, employees who are in a notice period are not eligible. Manager X is currently in a notice period, but his direct reports are still eligible compensation cycle. You observe that the system allows Manager X to administer compensation for his direct reports. You research this and find out that Manager X is still allowed to carry out the compensation allocation because his eligibility status is underscore 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 underscore. Option 1 Eligible. Option 2 Ineligible. Option 3 Restricted. Option 4 Limited. Option 5 Provisional. Question: while creating a compensation plan, the compensation manager of your client and #39's organization chooses to enable compensation change statement as an implementation consultant, which is the dependent configuration that you would advise the compensation manager to platform. Option 1 Enable components and create at least one component, configure compensation component. Option 2 Enable the communication tab type, configure worksheet page layout. Option 3 Enable components and create a component linked to the budget pool, configure compensation components. Option 4 Configure related components, configure worksheet page layout, detail table tab. Question: which 4 options are valid refresh options for the refresh data process? Option 1 Refresh HR data. Option 2 Refresh base and eligible salary. Option 3 Refresh plan access. Option 4 Reevaluate eligibility. Option 5 Refresh budget pools. Question: you want to use the workforce compensation budget pool for a workforce compensation plan. Select the task to be performed, in the correct sequence. A. Configure the workforce compensation budget pool. B. Configure the workforce compensation plan details. C. Run the start compensation plan. D. Create at least one worksheet compensation component and associate the budget pool with it. Option 1 Configure the workforce compensation budget pool, configure the workforce compensation plan. Details: run the start compensation cycle process, create the workforce compensation plan, create at least one worksheet compensation component and associate the budget pool with it. Option 2, create the workforce compensation plan. Configure the workforce compensation budget pool. Configure the workforce compensation plan details, create at least one worksheet compensation component and associate the budget pool with it. Run the start compensation cycle process. Option 3, create the workforce compensation plan, configure the workforce compensation plan details. Configure the workforce compensation budget pool, create at least one worksheet compensation component and associate the budget pool with it. Run the start compensation cycle process. Option 4, create the workforce compensation plan. Configure the workforce compensation budget pool, create at least one worksheet compensation component and associate the budget pool with it. Configure the workforce compensation plan details. Run the start compensation cycle process. Option 5, run the start compensation cycle process, create the workforce compensation plan, configure the workforce compensation budget pool. Create at least one worksheet compensation component and associate the budget pool with it. Configure the workforce compensation plan details. Question: as an implementation consultant, you are required to define a total compensation statement. You are creating the compensation items for the same. Which 4 source types are available for selection while creating a compensation item for the total compensation statement? Option 1, element entry. Option 2, benefit balance. Option 3, formula. Option 4, payroll balance. Option 5, input value. Question: as compensation administrator, you are required to show actual amounts paid to the worker in the total compensation statement. To meet this requirement, which component must be created? Option 1, compensation item. Option 2, compensation category. Option 3, compensation source. Option 4, compensation statement definition. Question: the Fusion compensation module must be integrated with Fusion performance rating. In which 3 ways can the performance rating be made available? Option 1, integrate with Oracle Fusion Performance Management. Option 2, use compensation performance ratings. Option 3, use both performance management ratings and compensation ratings. Option 4, integrate with Oracle Fusion Goal Management. Option 5, integrate with Oracle Fusion Profile Management. Question: a corporation is implementing Oracle Fusion Compensation Management. Different currencies are set at the legislative data group level, the organization payment level, the bank account level, and the payroll element level. The currency shown while configuring salary basis comes from which level? Option 1, from the input value of the payroll element. Option 2, from the legislative data group level, because that is the highest level in the hierarchy. Option 3, from the organization payment level, because the compensation is finally paid through this. Option 4, from the bank account level. Question: a corporation needs to set up a compensation plan for a housing allowance that will allow the company to grant these allowances to only employees above a particular role. Identify the option that indicates the correct way of implementing it. Option 1. Set up role-based security to the individual compensation war 1 area so that only managers are allowed. Option 2. Set up access restrictions to the individual compensation plan using the correct HR Act/on so that it can be added only to the specific roles. Option 3. The payroll administrator must add the element to the employees in the specified roles, because this cannot be achieved through configuration. Option 4. Set up a salary basis and restrict the eligibility to the required roles. Question: you can use predefined alerts to notify managers about issues on the worksheet that need their attention. Which 4 predefined alerts are available? Option 1. Salary changed in HR. Option 2. Allocation outside target range. Option 3. Grade changed in HR. Option 4. Worker was terminated. Option 5. Worker is on long-term leave. Question: which statement is true regarding questionnaires? Option 1. In a questionnaire, you cannot specify whether to allow respondents to add attachments to the response. Option 2. In a questionnaire, you can specify whether to allow respondents to add attachments to the response and you can specify how the responses are presented. Option 3. In a questionnaire, you cannot specify how the responses are presented. Option 4. In a questionnaire, you cannot specify whether to allow respondents to add attachments to the response, but you cannot specify how the responses are presented. Option 5. In a questionnaire, you cannot specify whether to allow respondents to add attachments to the response, but you can specify how the responses are presented. Question: which 2 statements are true regarding succession plan strength? Option 1. It is also known as plan bench strength. Option 2. It can be manually overwritten. Option 3. It is a non-calculated description of succession plans that is determined by the number of candidates in the plan and their readiness. Option 4. It is a non-calculated description of succession plans that is determined by the number of candidates in the plan and their risk of loss. Question: what happens when a task is created during a talent review meeting by using the add task functionality? Option 1. Only the assignee is notified and his or her watch list is updated. Option 2. Both the owner and the assignee are notified and their watch lists are updated. Option 3. Only the owner is notified and his or her watch list is updated. Option 4. The facilitator sends an email to the owner of the task. Option 5. The business leader is notified about the newly created task. Question: which 2 statements are true regarding adding candidates to succession plans? Option 1. A find best fit analysis must be run before adding candidates to the succession plan. Option 2. When adding candidates, you cannot update their risk of loss or impact of loss ratings. Option 3. Succession plans can be available to and include candidates from several organizations. Option 4. Find best fit is available when a job profile is associated with the succession plan or the incumbent and #39s job. Question: Which three fields are configurable on the Create Questionnaire Basic Information page when creating a questionnaire? Option 1 Questionnaire ID. Option 2 Name. Option 3 Folder. Option 4 Questionnaire Version Number. Option 5 Rating Model. Question: Identify 3 setup tasks required to be performed before Fusion Goal Management is launched to manage goals. Option 1 Manage worker goal setting lookups. Option 2 Manage goal library. Option 3 Manage goal management notification. Option 4 Mass assign goals. Option 5 Manage value sets, if flex fields are deployed for goals. Question: You have specified the minimum number of participants for each role in the performance template. While creating the performance document, you underscore Option 1 cannot add any more participants over and above the minimum number specified for the role. Option 2 can add only one more participant over and above the minimum number specified for the role. Option 3 can add only 2 more participants over and above the minimum number specified for the role. Option 4 can add more than 2 more participants over and above the minimum number specified for the Question: The goal plan template is the basis for the generation of goal plans for HR specialists. Select 4 correct actions that an HR specialist can perform with respect to goal plan templates. Option 1 Create goal plan templates. Option 2 Duplicate the goal plan templates. Option 3 Change template status to inactive. Option 4 Select population for the goal plan template. Option 5 Delete the templates that were never used. Question: You are a review participant and there is a need to analyze the impact of changing the performance and potential ratings of a worker reporting to you. Identify 2 options available on the talent review dashboard that can be used for calibrating performance and potential. Option 1 Drag and drop. Option 2 Zoom out. Option 3 Mobility. Option 4 Move marker. Option 5 Zoom in. Question: After the completion of the performance document, the employee's profile is updated. The HR user wants to be able to identify the source of the ratings that appear in the employee's profile. Which object helps a user distinguish between the sources of the ratings? Option 1 Content library. Option 2 Content item. Option 3 Instance qualifier. Option 4 DV content type. Option 5 Content section. Question: Where do you configure the fields in a dynamic role? Option 1 in the country-specific corporate data model. Option 2 in the event reason derivation data model. Option 3 in the succession data model. Option 4 in the corporate data model. Question: How do you create a new pick list? Option 1 Export all pick lists and add a new pick list ID and new pick list values to the file. Option 2 Enter the new pick list values into the option ID column. Option 3 Import the pick list file using the pick list mappings tool. Option 4 Export the data format and add a new pick list ID and new pick list values to the file. Question: you recently enabled German for your customer and #39s instance. How do you test and review the translations? Option 1. Log into the instance. 2. Proxy in as a user. 3. Change the legal entity to Germany. Option 2. 1. Log into the instance. 2. Proxy in as a user. 3. Change the home address to Germany. Option 3. 1. Log into provisioning. 2. Click on the company name. 3. Open import/update/export language packs. Option 4. 1. Log into the instance. 2. Proxy in as a user. 3. Open the options menu and change language to German. Question: your customer wants to add 3 job classifications: manager, administrative assistant, and HR representative. These classifications will be used in France, Germany, and the USA. Where do you create these job classifications? Option 1 in the job classification element in the corporate data model. Option 2 in the Manage Organization, Pay and Job Structures tool. Option 3 in the job classification local element in the SAP Corporate data model. Option 4 in the Configure Object Definition tool. Question: your customer wants you to create a custom field in the succession data model that allows employees to add their 3-letter ISO country code to their profile. Which XML configuration correctly defines this field? Option 1 HRS field max length equals 3 ID equals custom string 1 visibility equals both required equals false allow. Import equals false show trailing zeros equals false. Label ISO code /label /HRS field. Option 2 HRS field ID equals custom string 1 visibility equals both required equals false pi I equals 3 allow. Import equals false show trailing zeros equals false. Label ISO code /label /HRS field. Option 3 HRS field max length equals 3 ID equals custom long 1 visibility equals both required equals false allow. Import equals false show trailing zeros equals false. Label ISO code /label /HRS field. Option 4 HRS field ID equals custom long 1 visibility equals both required equals false pi I equals 3 allow. Import equals false show trailing zeros equals false. Label ISO code /label /HRS field.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.